Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Steve, it's time to start this day off with some good news, all right?
Okay.
Now, it's going to sound like it's not good news, but it really is. A school bus driver in Texas had a medical emergency behind the wheel last week. So that sounds like, oh, that is not good. I mean, you know, you're driving a school bus, you got kids all over the joint, and all of a sudden you're having a medical emergency.
Yeah, that's not exactly what you want kids to be in the middle of.
But luckily, Carson Vega, sounds like a great superhero name. Carson Vega was on the bus, a 13-year-old student.
Son of Vincent Vega.
Grabbed the wheel and drove everyone to safety. How about this 13-year-old dude basically pilots the bus or navigates the bus, whatever the term is, to safety. 13 years old, I would never thought of doing that.
I think they call it driving the bus.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Either way, he got there. Yeah. I guess his mom let him practice driving before, and he's even tried driving an 18-wheeler, so I can see why a bus no problem for him. Here's Carson Vega talking about what happened.
I was sitting at the back first, and then when that started happening, I tried to go to the front, and I was swerving, and I fell in a couple of seats. Then he started making circles and stuff, and he was going off in the ditch almost every turn. You know, we were about to go out, and then I was like, no, I'm not dying. So I jerked the wheel, kicked him over a little so I can get the brake and stuff. Then I turned the flashes on. Yeah, I sat on his lap and moved his hands and stuff, and then just drove.
Awkward.
Sat on his lap and moved his hands a little bit. Wow, that is...
Yeah, I guess the guy his feet wouldn't get off the pedals, so he had to kind of push him over a little bit.
Damn.
Imagine coming through, though, and you wake up and there's a 13-year-old on your lap driving. You're like, who are you and what are you doing?
Yeah, dude, that's trippy. Wow.
Yeah, it says his uncle drives an 18-wheeler, and he lets him drive it. So it was pretty much the same thing.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. You know, I guess there's something to be said about, having kids learn some stuff a little earlier than you think they should, because that kid saved everybody's life.
He's got to be the cool kid for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
He saved everyone's life.
No doubt about it.
I'd walk in every day with a cape on. I'm like, I'm your hero.
Oh, you'd be that guy.
Yeah.
Do you think this would have helped you get more action in school? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, not you. I mean, maybe Carson Vega.
But it would at least justify me wearing a cape every day.
Yeah, I think the cape would really just basically, signify and solidify that, you're not the guy we want to give action to. He's wearing a cape, this idiot. He did something cool. Now he's wearing a cape.
Right. You quickly go from being the hero to the ultimate zero. Like, gosh, Steve and his damn cape. I wish he would have let us just crash.
That is awesome, though, man. We have no word on the school bus driver of what exactly happened to him, but it was they just say a medical emergency. I imagine he's all right, but Carson had to hop on his lap and navigate that school bus. Otherwise, they probably would have tipped over and people would have got hurt.
I mean, talk about quick thinking.
Yeah.
That's great.
I just love his line. I'm not going to die.
Yeah. I don't care about the rest of everyone.
Yeah.
But this guy right here ain't dying.
I would have probably been screaming, going, I'm going to die. That would have been me.
They could turn it into a movie, have Keanu Reeves play the part of the 13-year-old.
Yeah. I'm not going to die.
Oddly enough, he kind of does look like Keanu Reeves.
No, he doesn't. Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
A little bit. Just needs the long hair and the beard.
No way. The kid does look like a baby Keanu.
He doesn't have to be John Wick Keanu. He could be like, Bill and Ted's Keanu.
That's right.
I like John Wick.
Damn, dude. It is really bizarre that he does look like kind of a baby Keanu.
Yeah, I mean, if they cast him as a young Keanu Reeves, I wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, the young Keanu in Speed 3 or 4 or whatever one we're up to now.
Carson Vega, John Wick, the early years.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Career Builder just put out its annual list of the dumbest things that people have done in job interviews.
Nice.
Got the top 10 for you. Someone actually asked for a cocktail during their job interview.
Well, maybe they're working at a bar.
Dude, I would, sometimes you need one. Honestly, it's not a bad idea maybe to take the edge off, to have a little something, because you are damn nervous in those things.
But maybe do it before you show up to the job interview and do it with some kind of alcohol that's not going to reek on your breath. But I don't know if you want to like hit up the person, unless you're trying to work at Mad Men or whatever that TV show was.
Mad Men.
Yeah, Mad Men.
Hey, Mad Man.
Hey, Mad Man. Can I have a vodka soda?
That's in the 60s, baby. Everybody had a drink. Oh, those were the days. Now, number 2 was a job candidate asked if they could taste the interviewer's coffee.
Oh, okay, that's a little creepy.
That is weird, man.
What kind of coffee you got over there?
I haven't been on a job interview for a long time, and I have been part of job interviews where I'm the interviewer, or at least part of the decision making process. And I have to tell you something. I'm way out of touch. I cannot be allowed to be in there anymore because if it's anybody young that's being interviewed, I got no time for it.
It's funny. I remember there's been a few times in my career where I've had to help with Sergeant Hair Club and him and I kind of cut from the same cloth when it comes to just patience. And there are times where we've been talking to people and both looking at each other like, why are we even still doing this interview? But there was one time where the person was nice, but they had like a weird, like nervous tick where they kept making a weird sound after they would answer a question. And I was having the hardest time keeping it together. And,
oh, no.
And Hair Club just kept giving me like the dirtiest look, like, just stop. Just look down. Don't even look at me. Because it was like, you'd ask the question and he'd be like, blah, 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 blah. And then he would go, huh.
Oh, damn, dude.
Every time. So like, how was your day today? It's been pretty good. Huh.
Oh, yeah, that would make me laugh.
And I know that I was like, I don't want to laugh at the guy, but this is like, what is happening? Like, why? What is this person punking us?
Yeah. Oh man, dude. I would have lost it.
Yeah.
Especially if I could see you and you're like, dude, this guy's doing this every time.
And I was trying to help him with some other position. It wasn't like even for us, but if it was for us, I was like, yeah, hire him. I want this person every time they talk to end their statement with,
Yeah, that would be his name. And we have our new intern, Someone tried to bribe their interviewer by giving them pumpkins and claimed, well, they transfer good energy, so you want these pumpkins.
It's very hippie.
Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? Take your pumpkins and go get out.
No? What if they give you pumpkin seeds?
Yeah, no. I know you love your pumpkin seeds, but
I would hire someone on the spot if they came to
If they came with pumpkin seeds?
Pumpkin seeds, yeah.
Yeah?
As long as they weren't soggy like the ones that Danny tried to pawn off onto me.
That was Sarah's boyfriend's fault, okay?
Well, with all due respect to Johnny Robbers, those were awful. And Danny's like, these are the best pumpkin seeds you'll ever have, because everything is the greatest in the world.
Yeah,
like all of us.
That's why we don't trust Danny at all, because those pumpkin seeds really showed Steve that Danny has no palate.
Right, and they were
never
soggy.
Trust him. Yeah.
They were pretty delicious.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you've never had pumpkin seeds that were good before, sure, but they were terrible.
Not as terrible as number 4. I love this dude. This dude pulled his keys out of his pocket along with a bag of drugs, everybody. That's the guy I'm going to hire.
I wish they would tell us what kind of drugs.
Yeah, I mean, when you say a bag of drugs, it's not pot. You think they would have said pot. I'm thinking he pulled out some stuff, like maybe
Coke?
meth, Coke. I think it was something that you go, okay, that's a bag of drugs right there.
Hopefully it was just like a government job he was applying for.
Someone showed up for their interview wearing slippers.
See, that's weird.
I think it's weird showing up in sandals.
I know.
And I don't like it. You don't go on a job interview unless you're working in Hawaii. You just do not show up on a job interview in sandals.
What if you work at a sandal store?
Ooh, boy.
Sanduck, or whatever that place
I
is called.
suppose.
Sanduke.
Yeah, I suppose then that's fine, because I'd have to see your feet. I'd want you to model the product. Okay, but otherwise, no. You remember that intern we had? I couldn't handle it.
No, you asked me to talk to him about wearing shoes that don't show his feet, which I thought was one of the stranger requests I've had from you, which is saying a lot because you've had some strange requests.
Yeah.
Remember poems, I was like, look, I don't give a crap. But then also you were the guy I had to talk to somebody because they smelled weird.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I couldn't.
And that was hard because I don't have a really good sense of smell. So they're asking me, what do they smell like? And I'm like, it was like a Seinfeld episode. I'm like, I don't know what you smell like. You seem fine to me, but you don't smell good according to the nose of others.
So your default answer should always be Teen Spirit. Since you can't smell anyway, just say Teen Spirit.
See, someone said my boss asked me to go to a bar when I was doing my interview. 3 Long Island iced teas later, I had the job.
Yeah, see, that is unusual. And I don't know if I don't know if I'd want the job. Like, one beverage is okay, but if somebody is sucking down a couple of beverages at a job interview and it's my boss, perhaps, I don't know, man. It depends on what the job is. It really, really does. It makes me a little wary. I mean, there was that one dude I was driving around with who wanted me to endorse his product, and he started doing blow off of his hand while driving a car. And I'm like, I went back to this. I can't endorse this guy anymore. I'm glad I'm alive.
Well, in all fairness, it was Johnny's Cocaine Emporium.
I know, but I really thought, it was going to be more family-friendly cocaine.
How about this guy says, I was a deputy chief apprentice of casino security. I had an interviewee hit on my captain as we interviewed him. No, we didn't hire him.
Yeah. Maybe we should have taken him out some Long Island iced teas. Maybe that would have been the way to go.
Someone wants to know if crying is on the list, and then they put Danny in parentheses.
Yeah, the Danny interview. We've talked about it before.
It's
Danny's
the greatest interview ever.
It was so horrible. I looked at you and Dave and I said, "Look, man, I can't be part of this process because I want to kill this kid."
No, you were done. Like, you just said, "I don't want this guy.
I'm not going to hire Danny.
This guy sucks."
See, I have the nervous tick of just sucking, so it was terrible.
Vicky has that problem.
Yeah, well, true.
I'm usually not too nervous doing it.
Yeah,
that was a great interview because you would ask a question that really required maybe a 2 or 3 sentence answer.
Oh, man.
45 minutes later in Waterworks.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking and I'm like, man, I just want to eat this food. Like, I don't know do I have to hug him?
It was really something. And it turns out, it was like Danny was the best guy for the job because he represents all of America. He really, people his age. He really does. It was just like, are these the people going to come for job interviews in his demographic? Is that what I got to look forward to? And yeah, it was.
You're welcome.
The best part was, like, after we were all done and the three of us are talking after Danny's gone, you're like, well, what'd you think? I'm like, dinner was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't even matter. The interview was great because the food was awesome. We went to Miller's Guild. That place was phenomenal.
Oh, Miller's Guild is, I say we do all of our interviews there.
Yeah, I don't care if anyone's crying at the table as long as I'm eating some good meat.
Is that the same dude that owns the lake house, the new one in Bellevue?
In Bellevue, yes.
Yeah.
That's my buddy Jason.
Jason, let me tell you, Jason knows how to do a restaurant.
He's a fellow hockey guy. He's a goalie as well.
Really? That lake house is swanky.
I hear it's awesome. I remember talking to him when he was building it.
Yeah, dude, that's a good location, too. That place is popping down at Lincoln Square.
Popping, huh?
It's popping, dude. Best food court you'll ever see, by the way. Just saying.
One person says, I remember interviewing a kid right out of high school, and he finished every answer with the N-word.
Oh, yes. No, he did not.
You can't do that during an interview.
I don't care what your ethnicity is. You're in a job interview. I don't care if you feel like you can say the word. I don't care what you feel like your heritage is. You just can't say the N-word on a job interview to anybody.
Or any word that's not going to be deemed decent in front of, like...
Oh, not the D word?
I wouldn't even say that's how I feel, MFers.
Yeah.
Like, you don't do that.
What's up, you silly little C words? See, I think you should be able to use the T word, but do it like the Brits do. When it talks about the downstairs area for the lady. You should be able to do that in a job interview.
All right, you work on that and tell me how it goes.
All right. How about a job candidate? For the first 5 minutes, the guy just leaned forward with his head down. That was the whole interview. It's just like,
a rough night.
One dude, which I don't know, this is kind of impressive, just because I don't know why you do this, and I don't even know if anybody would recognize it. He spent a large portion of the interview quoting Dwight D. Eisenhower, and it had no application to the job whatsoever. It was like there was no reason to be, to be doing that.
Trying to sound smart?
Yeah, I don't know what Eisenhower said. He's a president before my time, so I don't know what the hell he said. That was,
maybe he was like, yeah, plans are nothing. Planning is everything.
Oh, that could be it.
I bet somebody told him, hey, you need to sound smart, so you should quote great leaders.
And if you quote president, the guy might not know. Maybe he'll think you're the one saying it.
Leadership is the art of getting someone else to do something you want done because he wants to do it.
Oh man, that's right. That sounds like that. Was he like what, the 60s, 50s? When the hell was he president? Does it say there?
He was president in, I don't know.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
He was vice president from 53 to 61.
He was never president? Oh, I thought he was. All right, well.
He was the 34th president.
Oh, he was? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I just don't know why. But I don't know why it doesn't tell us what time. Oh, he was president 53 to 61.
I don't know why it's the first thing on the page. The first thing.
And his vice president was Nixon from 53 to 61. It didn't say, see, look, you look real quick. You got born, died, vice president, spouse, education. This is the problem with Wikipedia.
Reading is fundamental.
The first line of the bio, it says he was the 34th president right there.
I wasn't reading that part.
Jesus. So he was.
Hey man, never waste a minute thinking about people who you don't like.
He was. Oh, thanks, man. Well,
Wow.
he's a 2-term president, but he was done when I was 1. So I that's why I don't know the guy.
Well, you know, the middle of the road is all of that usable surface. The extremes, right and left, are in the gutters.
Actually, there's some pretty interesting lines. I can see why maybe somebody want to quote these, but you could almost tell like they're old school lines from like the 50s business stuff. I mean, I don't know if any, how many.
Well, dude, if the problem cannot be solved, enlarge it.
Enlarge it.
That's what Vicky says all the time.
Okay. God, actually, he had some good quotes, Dwight D. Eisenhower. Damn, now I feel bad for George Bush. No, all they say about him is fuzzy math. I mean, that's all he gets quoted. Trump can forget about it. But he's not going to get quotes like that. Man.
Wrong.
And what about poor Barack Obama? All he just got is white people.
We're way off the track.
We're way off the track. Sorry about that. How about someone broke out into a song during their interview for no reason? They just started singing.
That's awesome.
I mean, if you're applying for a musical like that, that's right?
Well, I would imagine they weren't.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Man, it just proves that you'd think everyone has common sense, but not many people do.
Yeah, again, Danny's generation, I just feel like they think that's not a problem. I can't believe Danny couldn't buck up and not bust out into tears.
No, I can't do that ever. But what I'm thinking, though, is that like somebody busting in a song, people tell you in college, like, make yourself memorable.
Oh.
And so I feel like at that point, you're going to always remember the person that started singing in the middle of their interview. Granted, you probably don't want to hire him, but I'm just saying, like, that could go to somebody's head and be like, oh, I'll just sing you guys a song about why I'm awesome.
You got to read the room. I mean, they're right. You've got to be memorable, but you've got to read the room and be memorable in a way that's actually impactful to the person
be
interviewing
memorable,
you.
not stupid, and that seems stupid.
Yeah. Job candidate didn't have the right skills, but said it was okay because their personal philosophy is, must have got this from Eisenhower, fake it till you make it. There is something to be said for that philosophy. I just don't know if you want to quote it in an interview.
If you find the right person interviewing you, they might find great humor in that. Be like, we could teach you how to do all this stuff. So, okay, let's go.
What if you sing a song about faking it till you make it? Then you're doing it.
While quoting Eisenhower.
Someone showed up to their interview in a full Darth Vader costume.
Sold.
Yeah, you do it. You're like 100%. Okay,
that goes in line with Danny said. You got to make an impression. If you show up as the leader of where is it, Death Valley?
No, it's Darth. It's the Empire. Come on, you know the Empire.
Yeah. I like that one.
Oh, you like that guy?
As long as he went like really like a good costume. Didn't go like cheap on it and buy one of those crappy Halloween costumes where it's
all right,
full voice box and everything. And he has to come to work every day like that. If an intern applied for a job on our show and showed up as Darth Vader, I don't care if they know how to do anything.
Yeah, for us, you're right. For us, that would. But imagine if you're, I don't know, you got like Mr. Regular Job. I don't know. That's a tough one. And I'm a big geek, and I still don't know if I would ever think of saying, oh, here's an idea. I'm going to dress up like Darth Vader.
Like, I drove by a gym the other day, and the gym had stormtroopers out, like model stormtroopers just looking out the window.
Really?
And I was like, I kind of want to work out at that gym.
Oh, look at them. They caught your eye.
Planet Fitness.
Yeah. I love how you still drove by, though.
Well, yeah, I already have a membership. I don't need another membership to another gym.
Or it's just like, well, I don't need to work out. Because I would have thought it was cool we drove by, too. It was like, I drove by the gym. I'm not going to walk into it, but I'll drive by. That's my workout.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. What's the difference between filing for bankruptcy and credit counseling?
Credit counseling is a useful process in some circumstances, but it does show up on your credit. In fact, from a credit scoring standpoint, credit counseling shows up just like a bankruptcy, so it's going to affect your credit as negatively as filing bankruptcy. In credit counseling, the idea is that a credit counselor works with your creditors on your behalf to try to lower interest rates or work out payment plans with your creditors to pay back your debt over time. In credit counseling, you almost always pay back 100% of the debt, sometimes at lower interest. And of course, some creditors will participate in that process and some won't. So you're usually left with kind of a mixed result with credit counseling and, of course, a high payment.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Keeping up with the flood of news every single day can be quite stressful. There is climate change happening. There's the pandemic, labor movements, Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend. Hi, I am Gideon Resnick, host of Crooked Media's What a Day. Each week, Travelle Anderson, Priyanka Arabindi, Josie Duffy Rice, and I are going to break down the biggest news stories of the day in a way that hopefully doesn't always make you want to cry. New episodes of What a Day drop every weekday at 5 a.m. Eastern. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.